We are live, cooking with the two T's. It seems like it's been forever, and I know it's only been a month, but it seems like it's been forever, Dawn.
It does, because you were solo last time. I had that family crisis going on. So good to be back, Pam, to cook with you tonight.
And it's so much better, it's so much more fun when you're with me.
Yeah.
And you have a great idea. I love the idea of what we're cooking tonight. Can you share a little bit about what we're going to be doing while I get set up so everybody can see my cooking area too?
Yeah, I am always looking for simple recipes that don't take very much time, that don't have a crazy list of ingredients, that include things that my family likes. And I like to follow the real food dietitians because I know that whatever they put out there is going to be healthy, simple, and delicious. It has been every time. And this recipe is no exception. It's become a favorite of mine. And, you know, Pam, we're always talking about getting lots of veggies in. I like to start my day with some blueberries. I like to have a salad at lunchtime, and at dinner, if I can squeeze in lots of vegetables into dinner, that's what I like to do. So I feel like it's not hard. It's just finding those really good recipes. And I was just telling Pam, my cooking has been so easy this week, and it's not like I was a good planner, but because I'm always providing, I just have a lot of recipes that I'm always looking at. And Pam and I are happy to help you guys. If you need recipes, just check out our Better Choices program that we'll share, because we're giving you those recipes that you can use in your life that will make life easier. And I think the one we're going to cook tonight would be a great baseball night meal, because as long as you have the stuff on hand, you can pre-chop. It's basically throw it in the skillet. And if you don't want to stuff the peppers, because it is stuffed peppers, Pam has a great idea. You can chop it all up and throw it in a tortilla. So I love that this is a versatile one, Pam.
Well, you know, it's too, you were talking too about a great baseball night or whatever. Who doesn't like tacos? Because the cool part about tacos, taco means sandwich in Spanish. Taco is really basically Spanish for taco or for sandwich.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Well, you know, in America, when you say sandwich, a whole, well, it has to include these ingredients, doesn't come in your mind. And that's the same thing with your tacos. Your tacos can have just about anything you want in it. It's just all in how you put it together and how, you know, how you season it is the big deal. But you can put anything you want in it. And I know we were going to talk too about, you know, I put meat. I'm not an anti-meat person. We eat meat. I love meat. But I also love vegetables. So if you want to, you know, go a little bit less meat, what we're going to show you tonight is when you throw all these great vegetables in there with it, and you can do it in your own taste, you know, for your own taste buds. Well, when you throw a bunch of vegetables in there, especially things like I'm actually going to put eggplant in my taco, my stuffed peppers taco tonight, but because it's got a meaty texture.
Yeah, it's all about the texture.
It's the meat.
Right, because it's taco seasoning. So you're not going to miss the meat. It's just getting that texture in there. And one of the things about the recipe tonight is that we're filling these peppers with some meat, taco seasoning, some salsa, but also some chopped up zucchini, chopped up onion, chopped up garlic. And one thing that I have come to love, it would not be good by itself, but these riced cauliflower veggies that are frozen are so easy. And they just add to the bulk of the recipe without adding to the calories and fat to the recipe, and give you some good stuff to put in your body. And when you put good stuff in your body, you feel better. So I love this recipe, Pam, because of all those things.
Well, and one of the things, you know, with that rice cauliflower and all the veggies that we're putting in it, it's kind of funny. It was one of the things one of my sisters was telling me about today is a big thing is called the Ollipops. I don't know if you've heard of those, but they're actually kind of like a substitute for soda pop, but they're loaded with prebiotics. Well, prebiotics comes from fiber. That means it has fiber in it. Well, if you're getting all your veggies in, guess what? You're getting prebiotics, which is what feeds the bacteria in there so that you have the probiotics. And so the prebiotics is really fiber. And that's what you're going to have even more of in your tacos or stuffed peppers when you're putting all these veggies in it.
Right.
So what's all going into yours again, Dawn?
I'm home. So just a minute. What do you need?
Okay.
I put them away. Yeah.
And you're using the sweeter peppers, right? The red and the yellow, right?
I am. I like to buy the package. I usually get it at Aldi's today. I got it at the local Giant Eagle, but just the different colors of sweet peppers. They all are slightly different in taste. You know, they're all a little bit different. What about you, Pam? What are you using for your peppers?
Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my green peppers that I froze from last year's garden. And some people may not know this, but peppers are so easy to store because when you freeze them, you don't have to do anything but wash them and dry them and put them in the freezer.
Wow.
I will chop some up and then throw it in the freezer, or I will do it like this. I halved them and
Okay.
then put them in the freezer just like that. And the cool part about it is now when I take them out, typically what I will do if I'm stuffing a pepper for a baked meal, like a stuffed pepper like this, I'll parboil my peppers, my pepper halves real quick. So they soften up a little bit. So they cook a little bit more because they're not very long. But when you freeze them, you take them out and then I just thawed them out and just made sure I got them good and dry. You don't have to do that. They're already softened. In fact, when you roast peppers and you peel the skin off, you pull a pepper out of the freezer, you can actually peel the skin off piece of cake.
I didn't know that. And I love that. I love peppers. That's really great. That's so easy.
When I do it's with all peppers. I do that with my jalapenos. In fact, when you have the surplus in the garden at the end of the year, what I will do is freeze some tomatoes, freeze some jalapenos, freeze some peppers, freeze some onions. I have a makings for salsa that I can do in the middle of winter. I just pull it up and throw it all together.
Yeah, I love that. Well, this has been pretty easy so far. I've just halved them and taken the seeds out, so they're ready to stuff. So the next step is just to chop up the veggies and heat up my pan. So, and I know, Pam, you totally wing it every time. I don't. So
Well, and the nice thing is you can do it either way.
And Pam does not.
Yeah, I was just telling Dawn today, and I'm going to put just a little bit of pepper jack cheese on the bottom of my peppers too. But I was telling Dawn,
I like that idea.
I didn't have a lot of burger meat that we had made for tacos, and I basically just when I brown, it's usually a 2-pound package I take out because ours is deer burger. And what I'll do is I'll use a general seasoning on it. It won't be taco seasoning, and it won't be anything. It's just maybe like a nature seasoning or Greek seasoning or something like that. Something that will work in just about every dish. So that's what I'll do with that. But I ended up not having enough burger for our meal. So what I was going to do is use some leftover deer bratwurst and kind of like a sausage and chop it up and saute that and throw it in there with it. But my husband got to it first. So I don't have any of it to do. So
yeah, you know what you would be really good at, and I think we should do this sometime, is since I'm not good at this, I don't fly by the seat of my pants in the kitchen very well. You do. So I was thinking what we'll do is we'll come on and then I'll give you the list of ingredients, or I'll tell you what we're going to make or give you the list of ingredients, and you can work your magic and find all those substitutes and figure it out. What do you think? I think that would be fun.
that would be fun. It would be a challenge. I might get a little nervous about it. It'd be a challenge, but I might get a little nervous. What I ended up throwing in here with, instead of my bratwurst that I didn't have, is now I have turkey bacon that I had in the fridge. So I just chopped it up and I'm sauteing that up right now with the rest of my veggies. Just threw it in with
You cook this way every night, so I don't think this would be a challenge for you at all. I think it would just be like any other night.
Yeah, I've got to say, there's one thing, a blessing my mother taught me is how to look in the fridge, see what's in there, make something good come out of it.
There you go.
Usually it works. I promise you it always does.
Let me ask you about that, Pam. So I was talking to a friend and she thought making dinner was challenging. Was just
Was what?
making dinner, getting dinner ready was challenging, not an easy thing for her to do. And it's because she waited until it was time for dinner to make dinner. But I think some people could probably do well with that, like yourself. Other people are more like me, where I have to start on Saturday to figure out the week and pull together some recipes, make a shopping list, go to the store and prepare ahead a little bit. That's how I stress-free make dinner pretty much every night. So it's just, we're all different.
And we talked about that too for Tip Tuesday. The Tip Tuesday with the 2 T's. We talked about how to be prepared, either like I do, where I am a fly by the seat of my pants person. And that's not always the best thing. And not everybody can do it. But if you keep the staples that you typically will use on hand, like your favorite seasonings, as well as your favorite vegetables, favorite meats, all that on hand, then you can actually grab something. It won't be so challenging. It won't be so scary and daunting
True.
when you didn't take something out of the freezer, or you forgot to what you were going to do, or wait until the last minute.
True. So you pretty much have on hand what you're going to need. So it's kind of like you've gone to the store, obviously, and you make similar things and you use similar ingredients. So, you know, that works for you. Definitely. I was saying earlier, I feel like I've almost cheated this week making food, because I did come in at the beginning of the week from a trip. I didn't have any planning done, kind of had thought ahead about some things, but I made a recipe using pork that my son gave to me the day I got in. I started it, and it was just a marinade, but it was so easy because once you marinate the meat, you don't have anything else to do with it except cook it. And it cooked in the oven. It was very easy. Made some rice and a vegetable, so easy. And then tonight, I made a recipe using, and this is so crazy, Pam, I don't know where you shop, but you ever shop at TJ Maxx? Because
Oh yeah.
sometimes TJ Maxx has these odd things, like this is a Thai style green curry. And so there's even a recipe on it. And it was just really onions sauteed, add the chicken, add the spice, add the coconut milk. It's done. So we serve that with the leftover rice. So, you know, there are ways to make cooking really easy, and it's always not hard to add some broccoli that you can roast in the oven, put in the microwave. We had green beans tonight that were in the microwave. So, you know, adding the vegetable isn't hard. And then tonight we're just having a lot of vegetables, which I think is great sometimes to do that for sure.
Well, and I think what you were talking about too, you shop at TJ Maxx. My sister gave me this one, and I think she got it probably at a TJ Maxx or something, but it's a Stone Mill taco cart, and it's all different, like hatch chili verde, carne asado, street taco, cilantro, tequila, lime, street corn, and you know, seasonings. So what it does, I think when you shop at places like that and you find kind of like those eclectic things,
Yeah.
you can mix it up and it has a totally different flavor, even when you're using a lot of the same stuff. So you're mixing it up. So
It's so true.
Just to show people what I've thrown in with my turkey bacon that I'm doing, because my burgers are cooked. So I'll throw that in close to the end. But I threw in onion. I threw in some chopped jalapenos. I threw in a sliced eggplant that we're already getting out of the garden. Because like I said, that eggplant has a very meaty texture. So, I mean, if you're maybe cooking for a vegetarian, you can just use the eggplant as the meaty part, and that'll give them still the right texture for a taco. And then
I love your ideas, Pam.
the mini sweet peppers, the different colors. Yeah, I know you have your different colors actually as your pepper. I'm going to throw these in. And here's what's really crazy is, you know what? Last night I threw these in there and it turned out so good. I'm going to do it again. Pea pods from my garden.
Pea pods, really?
Pods from my garden, and it turned out so good. I thought, I'm going to do that again. It just added a really good mellow flavor to it. So
Pam, you're adding the pea pods
so those
to
things
the
I throw in at the
tacos.
end. What's
You're
that?
did I hear you right? You're adding pea pods to tacos.
Yep, I'm gonna add my pea pods in, and I'll add them like really close to the end, because the pea pods, they cook up really fast. So you don't want to put
Okay.
the rest of the vegetables.
Okay. Well,
And then-
I'm sticking to the recipe. I've got onions and zucchini in the skillet. I just added some garlic, and I'm going to add some ground meat to that.
Okay. So now is your beef already cooked? Are you cooking
No,
the beef?
No, it's raw. It's going in with that, and then the taco seasoning will go in, and then I think the salsa is probably next. And once everything is cooked, it all goes into the peppers, and then it bakes.
Oh yeah, well that salsa too will add a lot of moisture to it, because last night I was thinking, okay, I want to add moisture to this. The vegetables are going to give some moisture, but I think a lot of times when people cook too, they forget about it could be a little dry. So salsa would be a great way to add a little bit of flavor, but also some moisture to it. I'm going to add in a tomato because they're very watery.
Yeah.
It'll get some moisture into there. It also helps, that little bit of moisture helps things cook just a little bit quicker as well.
Sure.
Get into
And I
the,
think that's where the rice cauliflower that'll get added next.
yeah.
Adds a little bit of moisture, and it's going to add a little bit of firmness, kind of like the meat, but it's a vegetable. So Pam,
Let me
how
ask you
many
this, Dawn, do you have
vegetables-
a favorite salsa that you use?
I don't. I don't have a favorite. No, I pick different ones kind of depending on where I am. I like to try different ones. I like cilantro. I like it a little bit hot. But no, do you have a favorite, Pam?
My own.
The one you make.
Yeah, but we're actually out of that. So I'm actually looking. So if any of you are watching, have a salsa that you just love, because I'm like you, Dawn, I love cilantro as well. So I'm like you, I would really like cilantro with mine. So if somebody on there used to be one that I used to get at Sam's Club that was actually more like a pico. If it was like a something rose that was really very fresh tasting, very, very good. I love that.
Yeah.
But I haven't been able to find it since, so I'm still looking for one that can match mine.
Nothing beats homemade, that's for sure. All right, Pam, since I cook from a recipe, I got to check my recipe out here. Okay, so I don't have any taco seasoning. I realized kind of at the last minute, so that's pretty easy to wing. We like cumin, so I'm just going to put a little extra of that. Some garlic powder, onion powder, oregano, paprika, and chili powder. So
That sounds good.
yeah, it's a good combination. You kind of start to learn, and some paprika too. You start to learn what tastes good to you. And it's kind of nice to make your chili powder this way because you can add more heat if you want to. You can really vary the flavors by what you're putting in.
But you know, the other thing I found too, because I bought this at I think it was a craft fair or a fair or an expo or something, but it's actually a salsa mix. But I've used it as a seasoning for like tacos and stuff too. I just basically put a scoop of it in there. Instead of making salsa, I'll just use it as a seasoning. And it works really well too for like tacos or anything that you want to season up.
Yeah, that sounds good. I love finds like that. All right, so my meat is browned and I'm getting ready to add the cauliflower, and then it's not too much farther in that I'll start stuffing the peppers.
I would love to see what it looks like so far. Can you pick it up and show us?
Well, I just put a big blob of cauliflower in there, so.
Oh yeah,
Frozen.
that's a nice way to do it.
It smells good, and this is just really easy. It's a really easy way to do it. And like you said, Pam, you could have a lot of frozen vegetables on hand that were already chopped. You know, some people like to prepare ahead, you could have bags of zucchini and onions and things like that prepared ahead. I'm burning things right now, is what I'm doing.
Well, and then the nice thing is too, the nice thing with frozen as opposed to canned, I really like the way when it's frozen right, how it holds its nutritional value.
Yeah, so true.
So far, this is just
Let me see that. Oh, wow,
Pam. This is just the vegetables, and it's got the turkey bacon, and I'm going to throw the meat, now the burger in there as well. And then the pea pods will be the very last thing I add.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Although, I'm going to be right back. Oh, maybe I can't find them.
What did you lose? We can do this, Pam. Anybody can do this because we're flying by the seat of our pants tonight.
Oh.
So the cooking part has taken about, I would say it's about 20 minutes to get to the point where they're getting ready to stuff into the peppers. And then after that, it's just really a matter of putting it in the oven, and it's only about 10 minutes after that. So we were talking about this being a good baseball night meal, especially if you chop ahead and have things prepared. It would be a really easy meal. And like you said, Pam, if you didn't want to stuff the peppers in, you would just saute them with the zucchini and serve it with taco shells. So that would be another way to do it.
Yeah, you know, a lot of times kids like to make their own. You could just have it laid out there.
Definitely.
What I was looking for and I couldn't find it, I know they're in there, and I'm sure I'll find them right after we get off, but I had frozen some avocado. And what I found too is taking some avocado, just a few slices of avocado and throwing it in the taco. The taco mix as you're sauteing it actually makes it a little bit creamier.
Oh,
Just
that's a good idea.
creme flavor to it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We did that with eggs the other day. Put the avocado in while they were cooking, and it was a different texture, a different creaminess.
Yeah, it gives it a nice creamy texture, doesn't it?
It does. All right, Pam, so I'm ready to put in the salsa. I'm not really measuring it. It's about half a container. So that's just going to get dumped in, kind of like you're using your tomatoes. And for this, I'm going to add a little bit of cheese. And I like how you put a little bit in the bottom of the pepper. I think I'm going to do that too. And then it's ready to go in the oven.
Oh yeah, you'll have to show us too. So I'm almost done. I just threw the burger meat in that I'd already cooked. It was already cooked. And you know, and you can make just small batches of this too. If you make extra, great thing to do with this before you put, before you put it into the peppers, or you can put it into the peppers and actually stick it in the freezer, freeze it and just pull one out at a time as well if you want for a quick lunch. There's so many things you can do with it.
And it's really versatile. And we found that it was actually even better the next day, kind of like a lot of things with a lot of flavors. They are good leftovers. So some things are just really good to cook ahead. So you don't have to do it the day that you might be really too busy to cook anyway.
Okay, I will tell you one thing that, so to see if you run into this at all. When I'm cooking and I'm getting things ready and chopping this stuff up, especially like when I was doing the peas, I found a good chunk of those peas were going in my mouth. When you're cooking and you just kind of snacking a little bit. A lot of times before I make supper do you have any tricks? I know somebody does that. I know I have some people who say they do that when they bake. I just threw the peas in, by the way, and so it'll be just a minute or two and we're going to be stuffing the peppers. But
yeah, I'm not a big snacker while I cook, but I remember when I was cooking and the kids were little, having some different things in the kitchen that are kind of part of dinner. If you have carrots or whatever and they're hungry, it's always okay to eat while you're making dinner. If you're hungry, just snacking as you go. As long as it's something that's healthy, it's kind of part of dinner. So
yeah,
I'm all about that.
That's what I figured. I know a lot of people, they would say, well, especially like if they're baking or something, they'll chew gum or something. But my philosophy, like you said, if it's healthy and it's going to supper anyway, I just won't eat as much supper.
That's it.
I have half of it in my belly.
So I have a lot of extra. It's just kind of overflowing these, but that's okay. They're going to kind of blend together anyway if they're in the oven. It is messy, but it's not hard. So, and we pretty much use the ingredients that I have on hand, not so much the cauliflower, just because I haven't used it that many times, but there's really nothing that you have to go out of your way to get for this recipe. So Pam, I'm going to show you what it looks like. So I'm just getting the
I was
cheese.
just going to say, when you get it all in, hold it up to the camera so we can really see it.
I didn't grate quite enough cheese, so I might put a little bit more on after it's done.
So what kind of cheese are you putting on?
So that's just the Colby Jack.
Okay.
Yeah. You can do Mexican
That's a really
cheese.
good Mexican one.
Yeah, you can do a Mexican one if you want, but this is what they look like.
Ooh, pretty.
Yeah. Lots of colors. We know that's the anti-inflammatory recipe is the one that's just loaded with colors. So this is definitely that. And it's going to be delicious when it comes out of the oven. And you can add cheese, sour cream, like you said, some avocado, whatever you would normally put on a taco. If you wanted to add some lettuce, whatever you normally do, more salsa, whatever you like is the thing that you want to add to that.
You were mentioning lettuce too, Dawn. I was thinking too, what you could do with this filling too, especially because I'm going to have some extra too. But we have lettuce from the garden right now, so I don't have these. But if you buy like those full heads of romaine, and so you have those big pieces of lettuce, you could actually make a lettuce taco. You could just take the filling, put it inside one of those big leaves of lettuce, wrap it up, and eat it that way too. Make it a lettuce.
Yeah, I love that. So you can either have the carbs or not have the carbs with this meal. I mean, so far it's really a no carb meal. It's the vegetables, of course, are carbs, but the way we typically think of carbs, there's really not any, not even any rice or anything. So yeah, you could definitely add that.
Well, mine got spread all the way over. So, it's going to end up more probably like a casserole, but the peppers are on.
Yeah.
We'll cut the peppers out when it comes out of the oven. I'm going to put a little bit of pepper jack cheese over the top because we like ours a little bit spicier.
Yeah.
So that way we've got just a little bit enough to satisfy. Give a little bit.
That's what's great about cheese is a little bit goes a long way, and especially the pepper jack, you don't need very much, and it's going to add a little creaminess to it. That looks good, Pam.
And you use the flavor, and it'll probably take, like you said, 10 minutes. You just got to let the cheese melt because that's heated through. So
Right.
Cheese melt and they're ready to go.
Yeah. So another quick one. And as I was saying, as we started, if you're looking for recipes, check out the Better Choices program. There's a free first month with 12 recipes. Pam does some great workouts that you can take advantage of. And then if you choose to join us, it's only $9.99 a month, and we'll give you great recipes and workouts to keep you healthy. So check that out.
Yeah, we're going to give you all those tips that you need, just those little bit of tips to help you slow down the effects of aging and really enjoy life as we get older. Because I'm 62 and Dawn, you're
right behind you, 61. So
there you go. We're loving life.
All right, Pam. It was great cooking with you
Post a
tonight.
picture of the final product. I'll post a picture of mine, and I know you're going to put the recipe in.
I'll put a recipe in, and I know you don't have one, so that's all right.
Yeah, but I'll post what I put in it.
Wing It Pam. That's what we're going to call you. Wing It Pam.
That will be me. And
all right, Pam. We'll see you next month for another great recipe.